Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in Elvis? Perhaps I really mean is, do you believe that Elvis is still alive? Well, you know what? It turns out that a lot of people still do. And that sounds silly, but you know what? There's a very good chance that in some way, so do you. In fact, in many ways, we all believe that Elvis is still alive. Let's talk about that. Let's have a little point of clarity. And welcome to 10 Minutes of Clarity on What It Takes Radio. And thank you, Rob Casper, as he brings the program together very, very nicely. And thank you for joining us for another episode. And it truly is an episode. This is a real episode today on What It Takes Radio. My name is Stan Houston, and I'm the lead broadcaster, kind of your host, though people join me from time to time. And even on Friday, my good friend Peter McClellan, What Really Matters. He talks about the money, about the markets, but more importantly, about what really matters, coming up on Friday. And many of you are going to be joining us for your own program as What It Takes Radio goes and grows. And thank you for being a part of it. Yes. Do you believe that Elvis is still alive? And I'm going to put that in the framework of a so-called scandal that just hit in the United States. One of the top broadcasters, literally one of the most highly ranked and popular broadcasters in the United States, is a gentleman named Bill O'Reilly. And I watch him very regularly. He literally is one of the most successful broadcasters in the country. And it has just been announced, due to some charges of misconduct, that he and his radio and TV program will now separate. Turns out that Bill O'Reilly, after a wonderful career and a wonderful run, has gotten himself at least in the difficulty which has caused his employer, Fox News, to make a major decision, and that is to separate. Now, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to say good or bad, but in some ways, it reminds me of a story that I told an awful lot and still do. And so, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell it to you because we can get it all done in just a few minutes. One time I heard that someone did a survey and they found out that they went around and asked people, do you believe that Elvis Presley is still alive? Now, this goes back a few years when obviously Elvis Presley had been dead for a good many years, but not quite as long as he is now. Well, what they found out was that 1 person in 8 really believed that Elvis was still alive, hiding out somewhere for some reason. That's right. 1 out of 8 believed that Elvis was still alive. I found that fascinating. And here was my somewhat sarcastic conclusion. That's a good thing to remember, because when you go out in the world, if 1 person in 8 believes that Elvis is still alive, that means 12% of the people you meet are kind of crazy. Why would you believe such a thing? Why would you think such a thing? The man is dead. He's been buried. It's been documented. Why do you believe that he's still alive? Yet, 12% of the population believed that Elvis was alive. The more I thought about that, it came to me this was a great point of clarity. You know what? We deal in an almost irrational universe of people who believe and do irrational things. And we'd like to believe that it all makes sense, that reason and rationality and good sense and common sense will provide people with the truth, and they will respond correctly to the truth, and when they hear and know the truth, they will do the true and right thing. Sorry, that's not true. It's not true at all. Now, can I put this in terms of you and me? Because in some ways, I think all of us believe in Elvis. Now, let me point you this way. It came up because it turned out that in a particular large Minneapolis, Minnesota church, and I was living in Minneapolis at that time, one of the largest of the congregations, the pastor, all of a sudden it was discovered that he was having an affair with the church secretary. Now, this is almost a cliche. This is almost stereotypical. This won't even make a good movie because it seems so commonly stupid and so commonly common. Now, why did obviously a very smart and talented man think that he could get away with that? Why did he believe that with all of the thousands of people in his church, in his acquaintance, in his universe, that he would be able to do such a thing and not get caught? Why would he believe that? That's crazy. That's nuts. It's like believing in Elvis, still alive. And we all do that. Well, let me just put it with Bill O'Reilly, which I know nothing about the facts. Obviously, many people were out to get him. Whenever you're successful, lots of people will be out to get you. And the fact that he was somewhat political and controversial means that even more people will be out to get you. And that may or may not have happened. I don't know the details. And I'm not blaming, and I'm not even trying to judge. But here's my question. If part of the evidence is true, I would go back and say, Bill O'Reilly is obviously a very smart man. He really is. I'm reading his book on killing the rising sun right now, which is one of his 4th or 5th bestsellers, and it literally is a bestseller right now. The man doesn't have to worry about money. It's a great book. It's a wonderful story. It's literally one of the best history books of World War II that I have read. And the reviews, even from people who particularly don't like the guy, they admit the guy, along with his colleague Martin Dugard, are great storytellers of American history. Smart. Why would you think that perhaps you could act unkindly or untoward or in a inappropriate, which I hate word like that, a wrong way toward another person? Why would you do that and think that you won't get caught, that you can get away with it? Why would you think so? Why would you believe so? Why did Hillary Clinton think she could have her private email server and that wouldn't cause her any trouble? What was she thinking? Well, you know what? They believed in Elvis. That's right. They believed in Elvis. They believed in something that was not true, not rational, not logical, and that's what they did. So I simply ask you to think about that yourself. What could it be in your life that kind of makes you a believer in Elvis? You're doing things or thinking things, believing that you won't get caught or the consequences won't come or it won't be discovered or that you can keep doing the same thing with different results. Why would you be so silly? It's like believing that Elvis is still alive. And those people who do so don't know what they're talking about and don't know what they're believing. And unfortunately, in many cases and in many ways, we are the same way. So can I just simply say, little 10 minutes of clarity, let this sit on your head for a while, perhaps help you better understand the human condition, but then challenge you. What in your life What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you believing? How are you performing or behaving in such a way in which you are demonstrating that in some rather silly and stupid way you believe that Elvis is still alive? Well, thank you for taking little time, 10 minutes for a little clarity. I'd love to hear what you think about this. I'm a coach as well as not a counselor, but somebody who could probably help you with your business, help things get clearer and plainer to you. I'm Stan at StanHouston.com. That's Stan at StanHouston.com. And you can check out www.stanhouston.com. We do a lot of things, and we believe that not only can we do a radio show that might be useful to you, we can come into your company, to your firm, and to your organization and perhaps bring a little clarity, a little conviction, a little good thinking, and it would be pleasant and profitable and fruitful and productive for you. We can't guarantee it, but we're pretty good at it. We've done it a long time, and we do it well. All the best and blessings to you. Thank you for listening in and thinking about, and be smart. I'm Stan for What It Takes Radio, and bye for now.